Hey guys, what is up? Hope you're all doing well. Now, what we got going on here is another pre-video disclaimer to alert you guys of some major spoilers that will be taking place here in this video, because as you're seeing, what we got going on is part 4 of our datamine discussion for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So, if you guys do not want to be spoiled, then please, I beg you guys to click away from the video so that way you will not be spoiled by me in any way, shape, and or form. So, with that being said, I want to say once again, if you guys are going to tune in and watch the whole video, then please be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more content from me again. And one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you guys so very much for the amount of love and support that you've been showing my channel in videos like these. Now, with that being said and out of the way, let's go ahead and let's get into character, cue the intro, and let's have some more fun.
Let's turn this motherfucker down!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, it is MegaCrasher, and welcome you guys back to a brand new video. Now, in this video, I want to present you guys with part 4 of our series of videos that discusses the data mining that took place in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Now, this is likely going to be my last video of the data mining series, as tomorrow, my time, we are going to have the official release of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So I want to try and cram in as much information as possible that I haven't already covered in previous data mine discussion videos. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be breaking things down, and there is a lot to talk about, and you guys are going to get pretty damn hyped as well, because, you know, with some of the stuff that has taken place already in the data mine discussion videos, man, like, I am just absolutely blown back with the amount of craziness that has been leaked and has been discovered in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I am just honestly really pumped up, really excited for the games. So, without further ado, let's do this! Woo! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I want to bring up the topic of shiny Pokemon once again here in this video, and bring to your guys' attention this. We actually have ourselves some really interesting information in regards to shiny legendary Pokemon. As Matt is saying right here, here's a much better look at what it's like finding a shiny legendary Pokemon in Let's Go. The shiny textures are not displayed during the cinematics, but they do appear shiny in both the battle and the capture sequence. So, you know, unlike all of the other non-legendary Pokemon that you can find in the overworld that can appear shiny, in this situation right here, you need to go through the cinematics first in order to find out if whether or not the legendary Pokemon that you are encountering is, in fact, going to be shiny. Now, with that being said, this begs the question, is there going to be a soft resetting method here when it comes to shiny hunters trying to shiny hunt for legendary Pokemon such as what you're seeing right here with shiny Moltres? Now, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be doing here is we are going to be talking about the description of the new moves introduced to us in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. And I gotta say that some of the descriptions here of these moves are pretty insane. Like, I want to say that these moves are, like, borderline broken, you know? I'm gonna outright say it, man. I think these moves are borderline broken, because some of the stuff that is showcased here is absolutely crazy. So, you know what? Let's actually navigate our way here to this paste bin, and let's talk about these moves. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so first things first, we have ourselves Zippy Zap here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight these moves that we're talking about here, so that way it's a little bit easier for you guys to keep track of, and a little bit easier for me to keep track of, because, you know, I sometimes lose my spot when I am trying to read stuff off to you guys. But anyways, guys, with Zippy Zap here, this move actually is priority because it always goes first and it results in a critical hit. Now, I don't remember off the top of my head what the base power is, but I gotta say, man, like, having a priority move that results in a critical hit, that's just absolutely amazing. And I can honestly say, like, this is like one of, like, this is only just the beginning when it comes to the amount of insanity that these moves actually have. Like, don't let the names fool you, okay? Like, they're all cutesy and, you know, funny and stuff like that, but the thing is that these moves actually pack a punch. So, I mean, You know, like, you really can't, you know, turn a blind eye to these moves because they will mess your day up. Now, with that being said, moving on to Splishy Splash here. Let's go ahead and highlight this. This is a move that may also leave the target with paralysis. Now, I don't exactly remember what the chance of the paralysis is. I think it might be 10% or 30% or something like that. One of the two figures. I can't exactly remember on the top of my head. But this is actually pretty interesting to know. Now, coming up next, we have ourselves Floaty Fall here. Now, Floaty Fall is a move that may, in fact, cause the opponents to flinch. And if memory serves, I do believe that the flinch rate here for this move is 30%. So it's got a pretty respectable and, in my opinion, pretty high flinch rate, you know? I mean, like, it's not Togekiss high level with Serene Grace and all that stuff, but it's actually pretty interesting, you know? So, coming up next, we actually have ourselves Pika-Papow. Now, Pika-Papow is, it works like Return, okay? The higher the friendship level, the higher the base power is going to be, and it also never misses, too. So, I mean, there's that opponents have to deal with, is that this is a move that never misses, and depending on the strength of your bond with that Pokemon, it's gonna hit really hard, and I can honestly say I am excited and cannot wait. So, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a Bouncy Bubble here. Now, I don't remember the name of the person that brought this to my attention, but I gotta say, like, thank you so very much for actually clarifying this, and you're 100% right, because here's the thing. Is that when we were talking about these moves, and I believe it was, like, we were at the recoil section here of the moves, and Bouncy Bubble, I thought that, you know, perhaps the recoil was that, you know, you would be losing, you know, health instead of regaining it, but, as it turns out, it then absorbs water and restores its HP by half the damage taken by the target. So, what do you know? Bouncy Bubble is actually, like, damn, it's actually really good. Holy hell. So that's really awesome to find out. Now, with Buzzy Buzz here, this is also another move that may leave the target with paralysis. So we have ourselves another move that has potential to cause paralysis, which is always good. Now, Sizzly Slide right here. This is a move right here that can burn the target. So, yeah, we have ourselves a move that I don't remember the percentage of, like, the chances, if you will, of the burn taking place, but man, like, I gotta say, that's actually really freaking awesome. I wonder if it's like Lava Plume based or Scald based, where seemingly it burns the opponent every single time, but if someone could clarify that for me down below, that'd be great. But anyways, coming up next, we have ourselves a Glitzy Glow here. Now, the funny thing about this is that if we actually highlight this, it says Telekinetic Force. So, Glitzy Glow is, in fact, a psychic move, which is just like, okay, it's like, when I heard of Glitzy Glow and Batty Bad, I almost wanted to say that I knew for a fact that Batty Bad was going to be a Dark-type move, but I didn't want to spout off something that I didn't know the 100% facts behind. It was more or less an educated guess, and with Glitzy Glow, I predicted it to either be a psychic or a fairy move, and as it turns out, it's actually a psychic move, so I'm pretty hyped about that. Now, it is what you would say is a Wondrous Wall of Light is put up to weaken the power of the opposing Pokemon's special moves. So I guess we have ourselves a built-in light screen with Glitzy Glow. That's pretty interesting. So we have ourselves, oh yeah, speaking of which, we have ourselves Batty Bad. Let's just exit out of this here real quick. We have ourselves Batty Bad here. Let's highlight this. And it says, the user acts bad and attacks a target. A Wondrous Wall of Light is put up to weaken the power of opposing Pokemon's physical moves. So we have ourselves a built-in Reflect here for Batty Bad. So Glitzy Glow and Batty Bad, you know, they are polar opposites of one another, but yet they have such a similar function, if that makes any sense, right? But yeah, this is actually really interesting. Now, Sappy Seed right here. Let's go ahead and highlight this. The user grows a gigantic stalk that scatters seeds to attack the target. The seeds drain the target's HP every turn. So that's absolutely awesome that we have ourselves a built-in Leech Seed sort of attack. That is, man, that's awesome. Now, coming up next, speaking of awesome, we got Freezy Frost. Now, it eliminates every stat change among all the Pokemon engaged in battles. So, I guess this is like a built-in haze, like, so that right there is actually really awesome. So, if you were to spam Freezy Frost, well, your opponent ain't gonna be able to set up its stats, you know what I'm saying? So, that's actually something really solid to know on that. And Sparky Swirl. The user attacks the target by wrapping it with a whirlwind of an overpowering scent. This also heals all status conditions of the user's party. So we have, I guess, aromatherapy built into this as well. Like, aromatherapy heal bell sort of properties here with Sparky Swirl. So that is actually really solid, really, like, just awesome. It's awesome! Like, what the hell? And last but not least, we have ourselves VV Volley. So I guess this is Eevee's signature return sort of move, because like Pika Papow, this move right here increases in power the higher your friendship is gained, and it also never misses as well. So, yeah, I gotta say, I'm really, like, looking forward to seeing just how well these moves stack up among one another. And I gotta say, you know, if I was to have a favorite move out of this, Bouncy Bubble. Without a doubt, Bouncy Bubble. Because I gotta say, you know, having a, you know, an absorbent sort of move where half the damage you inflict on your opponent gets converted back into health restoration, that is absolutely awesome. Like, I'm actually really stoked about that. So, you know, thank you and I really apologize that I don't remember your name, but I want to thank you for clarifying this for me and therefore confirming it. Yeah, Bouncy Bubble is actually really freaking awesome, guys. So, with that said, let's move on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now let's talk about capture rewards right here. We have a paste bin here, and I gotta say, you know, I had a look at some of these capture rewards, and I gotta say, it is absolutely insane, okay? There are items in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee that aren't found in Pokemon Go. Like in Pokemon Go, you know, the best berries that we have are golden raspberries and silver pineapple berries, but in this game right here, we actually have ourselves, you know, golden raspberries, we have golden pineapples, golden nanabs. Like, I'd like to know what the effects are of these new golden berries. Like, we already know about golden razzes, but, you know, golden pineapples and golden nanabs. Like, I'd like to know what the hell that's all about. It doesn't exactly go too much into detail, you know, what these items are, like, what the effects are. They're more or less talking about, like, the capture rewards in general. So we got escalating odds for silver/gold berries and rare candy, and we actually have ourselves some clarification down here. There are multiple tables you can get random loot from. The game decides which table you used based on, apparently, the total amount of captures you have made. The list is at the top, is the threshold, and the tables are below. Now, with that being said, I guess it's like the, you know, the higher, the more Pokemon you capture, the more likely it is that you will be getting, like, better rewards, so to speak. So, I mean, that right there is absolutely amazing. So, yeah, like, I honestly can say, like, I can't wait to just start catching a whole bunch of like, I'm just gonna be catching and catching and catching and catching, and just farming a whole bunch of craziness, you know? And I can honestly say that I cannot wait. I can't wait to see just, like, what these new items sort of effect is going to have. Like, you know, we already know about the functionality of what the Golden Raz is about. You know, it increases the capture rate of said Pokemon, but the thing is that we don't know what the Golden Pineapple Berry or the Golden Nanab Berry does. I'm going to say, you know, take an educated guess and say that when it comes to the Golden Pineapple Berry, it's probably going to have a similar effect to that of the Silver Pineapple Berry, such as in Pokemon Go, where not only does it doubles the candy, but it also increases the odds of catching said Pokemon. So I'm going to say that the Golden Berry is basically a buffed version of that, where it further increases the candy. I'm going to say probably 3 times or 4 times or something like that. Like, it's going to be a higher multiplier, I would say. And it's also going to increase the chance of you catching that Pokemon. Now, when it comes to Nanab Berries are make it so that the Pokemon, you know, behaves less erratically. Like, it doesn't move, it doesn't, you know, attack and things like that. So I'm going to say that probably the Golden Nanab Berry not only maintains the effect of the regular Nanab Berry, but probably is going to increase the chance as well of catching said Pokemon. But let me know down below what you guys think of, you know, what you think these items are going to have in terms of effect. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, there's still more to talk about here. So now we actually get into something that I'm really pumped up for personally in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and that's hyper training. Now, the thing is that the same sort of scenario applies where it was, regularly introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon, where the Pokemon has to be level 100 in order for them to be eligible to be hyper trained. Now, with that being said, there also is going to be daycare as well. Now, the thing is that you need to have 3 other Pokemon in your box, and you cannot deposit your starter in this daycare. Now, with all that being said, it begs the question, It begs the question, how do we go about getting these items for hyper training? The silver ball caps, the gold ball caps, things like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go about, implementing that sort of thing in the games, where we have to farm for these special items in order for us to take advantage of hyper training, especially if we happen to find a shiny Pokemon that is of competitive use, but its stats, its IVs aren't exactly all that good. We gotta find that out, you know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, also, another juicy bit of information here is that the max amount of Pokemon you can store in your box is 1,000. It behaves like a list rather than an array, so no empty slots. Your party Pokemon are chosen from the list and aren't stored separately from the box data, so that right there is also good to know. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's actually talk about some learn sets here for said Pokemon, because we're about to get into some pretty crazy stuff, so let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so in this part of the video here, what we're going to be doing is going over the learn sets here of some Pokemon, because we actually have ourselves some pretty interesting changes taking place in these move sets going on here, because yeah, it's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, man. It seems like that game can do whatever the hell it wants, It defies logic, it breaks, barriers and stuff like that. I'm really pumped up about it, is what I'm trying to say. Now, with some of these changes here, there's going to be some Pokemon that are going to be vastly affected, okay? So, first things first, we're not going to be going over every single Pokemon here, but there are a few that I do want to go over specifically to kind of showcase you guys and say, look, it's like, we got some pretty big-time changes that can make or break said Pokemon, So, with that said, let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's start off with Venusaur here. Now, Venusaur is a grass poison Pokemon, so it's got a pretty, I'd say respectable defense typing and all that stuff. Now, the thing is that this Pokemon right here is solely meant to be a tank, in main series games and all that stuff. But, see, the thing is that this Pokemon actually loses out big time on a few of its key aspects when it comes to it being an effective wall in battle. So, first things first, I want to point out that, just to reiterate, there are no abilities here in this game. So that means, in its Mega form, Mega Venusaur, it loses out on Thick Fat, which neutralizes 2 of 4 of its weaknesses, that being Ice and Fire. So there's that going against it. That's number 1. And number 2, I don't know if y'all can notice, but there's no access to synthesis here anywhere in its learn set. It can't be taught. There are no move tutors in the game. There aren't any egg moves either, so, there's that. So this right here is actually going to be pretty interesting here to see, how Venusaur is going to fare in the competitive scene when it comes to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Now, I will say that, not all is bad for Venusaur, because the thing is that it does have access to a very, very powerful Solar Beam, going from a base 120 power to a crazy base 200 power. So, I mean, this Pokemon right here is going to be, I want to say it's going to be, more based on offense here, because with base 100 on the special attack, that is actually very respectable, and even in its Mega form, base 123 special attack, I believe it has, and, you're using a base 200 power Grass type move, that's gonna do some damage. That's gonna do some damage, guys. And here's the thing also, is that this Pokemon does have access to some pretty interesting, and I want to say pretty solid moves, such as Outrage, such as Earthquake, Sludge Bomb, Mega Drain. Mega Drain got a buff as well, from base 40 power to base 75. Not to mention, it still also does have access to Leech Seed. So the thing is, right, is that even though it does lose out on Synthesis and, its Mega Form's tanking abilities with Thick Fat and all that, you know, it's still a Pokemon that that is pretty usable in the game, I must say. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's move on to Charizard. So, with Charizard here, we know that it has access to 2 Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, that being Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y. Now, here's the thing, is that, again, we're you know what, we're going to be talking about abilities here quite a bit here in this section, but it really just goes to show that without abilities here introduced in this game, it's going to change the landscape of a lot of Pokemon in the competitive scene, because there's a lot of Pokemon that are very reliant on their abilities, you know, such as I mentioned with Venusaur, or I should say Mega Venusaur, but with Charizard here, here's the thing, is that Mega Charizard X has access to Tough Claws here. Now, Tough Claws is null and void here in this game, so it's gonna have no ability, and also I want to point out that it doesn't have access anymore to Dragon Dance. So, the thing is that, you know, Dragon Dance is actually taken out of the game, so Pokemon like Charizard, Pokemon like Dragonite, like Gyarados, you know, they lose out pretty big on a really good boosting move. So, there's that, not to mention also, with Mega Charizard Y, its primary ability is known as Drought, which is, you know, a really good ability that not only halves the damage of water-type moves, which it happens to be weak against, but the thing is also is that it doesn't need to charge up for Solar Beam if Sun is on the field. But the thing is that Mega Charizard Y doesn't have access to Drought anymore, so it would need to charge up for Solar Beam, which means that it's kind of gonna, you know, it's not good. Not too good, you know. I definitely say that, you know, the Mega Evolutions took a big-time hit when it comes to, you know, not having any abilities, and especially with Mega Charizard X, you know, I feel really bad the fact that it no longer has access to Dragon Dance, and, you know, it doesn't have Tough Claws to take advantage of, you know, contact moves being boosted and all that stuff. So, that right there is actually pretty bad. Now, with that being said, you know, it does have access to some really good type coverage moves, if you will. Such as the likes of Earthquake, we have Outrage, we got Flamethrower, Dragon Pulse, Fire Punch, you know, Thunder Punch, Iron Tail, Rock Slide, Dragon Tail, things like that, Brick Break. So, it does have access to, like, a wide variety of type coverage moves. But the thing is that losing out on Dragon Dance if you are Mega Charizard X, you know, that is pretty big right there, and the fact that, you know, Mega Charizard Y loses out on its Drought ability, you know, that means that it's not going to be able to freely spam Solar Beam without opening itself up to taking some serious damage. So, do keep that in mind as well, ladies and gentlemen. So, on to Blastoise, right? Blastoise is a pretty interesting water-type Pokemon, to say the least, and here's the thing, is that it actually has, like, access to some really good coverage moves. Like, to open things up, we got ourselves the likes of Flash Cannon, we got Fake Out, we got Aqua Jet, so, you know, got some good old priority right there, man. And we take a look also, you know, we have the likes of, you know, Brick Break, we have the likes of, you know, Dragon Tail, Iron Tail, Dark Pulse, Rock Slide, Waterfall, Skull, Dragon Pulse, Ice Punch, Outrage, Toxic, or I should say Earthquake, and also got Ice Beam as well. So, I mean, this Pokemon does have access to some really wide type coverage moves, but here's the thing. It loses out on something. Number one, you know, it loses out on its Mega Launcher ability when it is in its Mega form, but also, more than that, ladies and gentlemen, it ends up losing out to freaking Rapid Spin. It no longer has Rapid Spin. I'm like, what? Like, okay, here's the thing. We're gonna do a quick search here. Rapid Spin. There's nothing. There is absolutely nothing. Like, are you kidding me? So you mean to tell me that Rapid Spin is no longer in the game? Like, that is gonna lose Blastoise some really useful utility here, because Rapid Spin is like one of the big selling points when it comes to using Blastoise in competitive, because it's known for clearing away entry hazards, and I also want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, is that Stealth Rocks is in the game. Just to reiterate, guys, Stealth Rocks is in the game, and because Rapid Spin is gone, and you know what, we're also going to talk about Defog too. Defog's not in the game either, so, yeah. Once Stealth Rocks is up, like, that is it. It's like, you have no way of clearing the Stealth Rocks, so I have a feeling that Stealth Rocks is going to be very, well, it's going to be very overpowered here in this game. So, I mean, don't be surprised if we see a lot of Stealth Rock spam on the field and whatnot. Yeah, So Blastoise and, you know, all the other Rapid Spinners, all the other, you know, defog spammers and stuff like that, GG. That's it. You don't have any way of clearing entry hazards. Now, the good thing about this is that you also, you know, don't have to worry about things like spikes, toxic spikes, you know, sticky webs, but stealth rocks. So, guys, stealth rocks, arguably the best form of entry hazards, is still in the game. So, I mean, it's just like, what the hell? Like, that's just absolutely insane, you know? Now, with that being said, something else I want to point out is this. I want to point out that we have ourselves a really interesting buff, okay? So we have ourselves a Alolan Sandslash here, and get this. It's got Ice Shard. Yes, it has Ice Shard. Oh, man. You have got to be kidding me. Like, what? Like, what? 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 Are you serious? Okay, so it's got priority now. So, I mean, this Pokemon right here, you know, has a way to be able to, you know, be like, okay, so first things first, it has access to the likes of Swords Dance, which boosts the attack stat by 2 stages, right? But more than that, though, now it has Ice Shard, which is a way for it to bypass its, kind of mediocre speed and be able to, you know, pick off weakened opponents. Now, with that being said, it also, you know, is going to have access to the likes of Ice Punch. Now, unfortunately, it's going to lose out on its Steel type, you know, coverage with Iron Head and all that. Sadly enough, you know, things like Iron Head are not in the game. Like, let's just actually, let's just double check here. No, wait, I was wrong. Wait, no, hang on a sec. Iron Head. Okay, no, actually, I was right. I was right. Iron Head is no longer in the game. So, I mean, yeah, instead we got to rely on Iron Tail, which is pretty, yeah, I mean, it is a powerful, Steel-type move, but oh my god, the accuracy sucks. It absolutely sucks, but, you know, I want to know, does Sandslash get access to Iron Tail? We are about to find out. Let's just see what we got going on right here. Let's see what we got. Come on, Iron Tail. Yes! Oh, wait a second. Never mind. Never freaking mind. Okay. Even though it lost out on Iron Head, it gets access to Iron Tail, baby. So that right there is just absolutely awesome. And not to mention also, it keeps its awesome moves of, you know, of Earthquake, a Poison Jab, X-Scissor, Rock Slide, Brick Break. You know, the list goes on. Not to mention, it gets access to Stealth Rocks as well. We were just talking about that. What? Oh, man. Like, that's just absolutely insane, guys. Wow. Now, speaking of insane, I want to showcase you guys something else right here, because y'all ain't gonna believe this, but how in the blue hell does Muck, and Alolan Muck for that matter, have access to Moonblast? How is that even, like, just, how does that even happen? Like, why does it learn Moonblast now all of a sudden? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, seriously, that's just so crazy. Like, okay. It gets access to a special fairy type move, which I have absolutely, again, I have no idea why or how that even is, but yeah, that's just absolutely crazy right there, you know. So I kind of just want to point that out as well, but I want to also point out something that is pretty massive. So let's go to Soft Boiled here. So Soft Boiled. Now, there is only one Pokemon that can learn this move, and that is Chansey. Now, if you guys remember, Clefable, you know, used to be able to use that move, but if we actually go to Clefable right here, Clefable got absolutely nuked, because the thing is that, you know, Clefable's meant to be a wall, and for it to be a wall, it has to be able to, you know, have access to recovery and things like that. But we take a look at, you know, its moveset here, you know, with Clefairy and all that stuff, because once you evolve it, you know, its moveset kind of gets crippled and all that. But here's the thing, is that it doesn't have access to Soft Boiled, it doesn't have access to Moonlight anymore, so I mean, it seems to me that walls are, like, being, like, seriously nuked here in this game, because you got the only recovery moves that you have here would be Recover, Soft Boiled, and Roost. So I mean, flying type Pokemon, you know, they're okay. Like, they didn't get too badly damaged, they didn't get too badly nerfed, but man, like Pokemon like Slowbro and Clefable, you know, Mega Venusaur, you know, things like that, they got like seriously like robbed. Like, fuck. That's just crazy, man. That's just absolutely nuts, you know? So I kind of just want to point that out there as well, because, like, that's just crazy right there. And again, we go back to Rapid Spin. Rapid Spin, not Rapid Ash. There's nothing. So entry hazards like stealth rocks is going to be OP in this game because there's no way to remove them. It seems to me that this game is going to be very heavily offense-based, so you got to go balls to the walls, man, and just smack the hell out of whatever's in front of you if you're a competitive cat, you know what I'm saying? So, I just kind of wanted to bring this part of the video to your guys' attention. Just to kind of talk about a few things here. Like I said, you know, we weren't going to talk about every single little thing here in this paste bin because then we would be up to, like, the next morning because there's so much to talk, like, there would be so much to cover, right? But a lot of it's kind of redundant and already kind of, like, on a you know, we already know that sort of thing. We already know that basis, but the thing is that there's a few things here that I want to talk about that, you know, is actually pretty interesting, and it definitely, you know, piqued my interest, to say the least. Such as, you know, Pokemon getting access to some new moves like, you know, Muck with Moonblast, you know, like Alolan Sandslash with Ice Shard. But, god dang it, man, it's just like, the walls here, the walls, the tanks, they just got absolutely destroyed. No, man, that's just crazy, you know? But with that being said, you know, that's all I have to say here, really, for the section here of this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that right there is going to conclude this video, and I think conclude my series of the data mine discussion for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. You know, we talked about so much. I think, you know, we talked about as much as we are going to talk about here when it comes to the data mine. You know, we pretty much have it all out in the open now at this point. I just can honestly say I can't wait for these games, you know. The games come out tomorrow, but just because they come out tomorrow doesn't mean I'm going to be able to play, because the thing is that, you know, like I said, you know, previous videos, I am waiting for my brother Jason to come down from Singapore to Halifax, so that way we can play the games together, because I want to be able to share a renewed Gen 1 adventure, you know, like these games right here, right? I just gotta say, I'm really excited about these games. Yes, you know, it's Gen 1 based, and I know that there's kind of mixed feelings about all that and all that stuff, but the thing is that, you know, this does bring me back to my childhood, so I am personally really excited to play these games and to be able to relive my childhood adventure, if you will. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So with that being said, that's going to end things off. So I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you guys want to see more content from me again. And with that being said, I'll see you next upload.